Viewers, the health of a democracy, and I don't need to tell you this, is also measured by the quality of its opposition. And it is on this point that we, the voters, need to be very, very alarmed. An election is expected to bring the best out of the opposition as it presents itself as a viable alternative, or viewers, as the best option. But what do we have instead? In the run-up to the Delhi Assembly election, a very consequential election when you really think about it, a plethora of seemingly illogical rants and unverifiable conspiracy theories confront us. AAP founder Kejriwal and Delhi Chief Minister Atishi have made an allegation of astounding proportions that even Pakistan hasn't dared to make against any party in India. The spirited duo claimed, without adducing a shred of hard evidence, that the BJP, yes viewers, the BJP is engineering a genocide. It wants to kill all Delhiites by poisoning Delhi's water with ammonia. A claim that has been busted by the Delhi government's own water department. First listen in viewers.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी की हरियाणा की सरकार ने दिल्ली में यमुना से आने वाले पानी में जहर मिला के भेज दिया। अगर वो पानी दिल्ली के अंदर आ जाता और पीने के पानी में मिल जाता, दिल्ली के अंदर ना जाने कितने लोगों की मौत हो जाती। एक मास जेनोसाइड हो जाता दिल्ली के अंदर।
जब अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने और मैंने हरियाणा की साजिश का पर्दाफाश किया कि किस तरह से हरियाणा यमुना नदी में जहरीला पानी भेज रहा है, तब भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अपने एलजी साहब के माध्यम से दिल्ली जल बोर्ड के अफसरों पर दबाव बनाया।
Viewers, Rahul Gandhi has pinned the blame for the opposition's inability to make a dent on BJP's invincibility on what he labels is the Ambani-Adani media. Astounding, viewers. Listen to this.
ये मीडिया कैमरा लिए घूम रहा है, ये आपका मीडिया थोड़ी है, ये अदानी अंबानी का मीडिया है। आप भूखे मर जाओ, आपके बच्चे भूखे मर जाएं, आत्महत्या कर लें, किसान मर जाएं, इनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। ये अदानी अंबानी की शादी दिखाएंगे।
The captain of the Congress, its president, is busy slandering Hindu rituals on show at the Kumbh Mela and calling out BJP leaders for wasting money on flashy demonstrations of religiosity, as if Hindu politicians have no claim to their religious rights, as if the Congress didn't splurge on sending plane loads of pilgrims to Hajj or hosting elaborate iftar parties. Listen in, viewers.
ये मोदी के जो झूठे वायदे जो बोलते हैं उसमें मत जाओ। अरे भाई, गंगा में डुबकी लेने से गरीबी दूर होती क्या? बच्चा स्कूल में नहीं जा रहा है, मजदूरों को मजदूरी नहीं मिल रही है। जब ये है तो ये लोग जाकर हजारों रुपए खर्च करके कंपटीशन पे डुबकियां मार रहे हैं।
And then there is Rahul Gandhi's mentor, who in a desperate attempt to rally minority votes is defending the rights of illegal Bangladeshis to live in India and sponge off Indian taxpayers. Imagine.
और हमें लोगों की भी कुछ नहीं पड़ी है, क्योंकि हम लगेंगे इमिग्रेशन के पीछे। गरीब हैं ये लोग, भूखे हैं ये लोग, इतना काम करके यहाँ आते हैं, ऑफकोर्स इलीगली आते हैं, वो भी ठीक नहीं है, हम समझते हैं, लेकिन हम इमिग्रेशन के पीछे लगेंगे। हमारे वहां लग गया कि बांग्लादेशी के पीछे लगेंगे, माइनॉरिटी के पीछे लगेंगे, as opposed to saying we will include everybody. If we have to suffer a little bit, it's okay. We will suffer a little bit. We will share. But nobody wants to share. They want to keep their pie bigger and bigger.
The duo of Union Home Minister Amit Shah and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath have taken umbrage at these palpably misconceived and one dare say irresponsible attempts at ginning up support. Viewers listening.
केजरीवाल जी, चुनाव में हार जीत तो होती है, भोला सा चेहरा बनाकर हरियाणा सरकार पर जहर मिलाने का आपने आरोप लगाया है, दिल्ली वासियों को डराने का काम किया है। इससे ओछी और इससे नीची कोई राजनीति नहीं हो सकती है, राजनीति नहीं।
यमुना जी जो कभी भारत की पौराणिक नदी के रूप में हम सबकी आस्था की प्रतीक थी, हम लोग तो दो ही नारा लगाते थे, हर हर गंगे हर हर यमुने के नारे लगाते थे। वहां से बदबू आ रही थी, सीवर जैसी बदबू आ रही थी इस पावन यमुना नदी से। दिल्ली के अंदर आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार के पाप का भुक्तभोगी।
Let's open this up, viewers. Without much ado, the original question I asked was whether this was the best that the India bloc could offer you and I to ponder before casting a vote to Delhi. Think about it. Rant opportunism, viewers, rank opportunism, illogical rants and baseless conspiracy theories. Let me bring in Mr. Muni, who represents the AAP point of view tonight. Mr. Muni, toxic conspiracy theory, baseless as it is all that you have to offer in the run-up to the election. Is this what we expect from an opposition party in this country now? Rumor mongering, fear mongering.
See, Rahul ji, I will talk on facts and kindly tell me that if these facts are wrong. From 15 January till today, the intensity of ammonia in the water coming from Wazirabad Canal as per the Delhi Jal Board is 7.2 ppm. Normally it is 1.0 ppm. It is 700 times more. As per the health constraints, normal ppm should be one. So not keeping with that means that this is creating a health hazard. If the Delhi Chief Minister raised this concern, if the national convener of Aam Aadmi Party, who is the ruling party in Delhi, raised this concern regarding the health of Delhi residents with the Haryana government, with the central BJP government, why they have a problem? They should have taken it seriously. They should have called the Haryana government and told that this data is wrong or we will be lowering the ppm. And this happened, mind you, after 15 January, not before that. So why before elections, the health of Delhi residents...
Why before elections you are saying? Why? And you are saying factually it should not be more than, how much did you say, sir?
I am saying that it should be 1 ppm. Normally, it is 7.2 ppm as per the Delhi Jal Board.
Now, so it has gone up six-fold almost. That's what you're saying.
700 times.
Okay.
700%.
Viewers, now I'll take you a year back before the Lok Sabha election. January 2024, the ammonia level in Yamuna was 5.9 ppm. 5.9. Please check. You can Google this, viewers. In December 2024, it was also 5 ppm. 5 ppm, viewers. Much more than the threshold. I'm talking about a year ago. 1 year back in time. Viewers, there are many instances when the ppm has increased. The one fact that Mr. Muni is not telling you is that in 2019, Arvind Kejriwal said that he will not stand for re-election in 2025 if the Yamuna hadn't still been cleaned. That means, viewers, he was aware of his own powers to clean the Yamuna. He said this in 2019 to a famous TV journalist who is right now promoting his book. He said it to him that in 2025, I will not return to contest the election. And today, viewers, baselessly, he is suggesting what even Pakistan has never suggested to us. Now, I want Shehzad Poonawalla to respond. Viewers, this is a very strange problem. Let me be honest with you. And Shehzad Poonawalla, look, I'm not going to get into a blame game. I'm going to ask the larger question.
Yeah.
And this is a question that perhaps your party that is answering in public campaigns needs to also sort of emphasize. And I'm asking you this question in all honesty. Have you pushed Arvind Kejriwal to making these astoundingly baseless claims tonight?
So Rahul, let me first address the issue of Yamuna ji and then the larger issue. This is the same Arvind Kejriwal, by the way, who said 800 crore rupees have been kept by BJP to break my party. This he said 2 years ago, and I'm going to produce the audio tape. Did the audio tape ever come? Arun Jaitley is corrupt, said sorry. Gadkari ji is corrupt, said sorry. Majithia has nasha karobari, said sorry. After that, this is the same Arvind Kejriwal who said, मैं बच्चों की सौगंध खाता हूं, कांग्रेस से हाथ नहीं मिलाऊंगा, did an alliance with the Congress party. He said that we will pass Jan Lokpal. Punjab, I don't know where the Jan Lokpal is. So, this is the credibility with which Arvind Kejriwal comes. Now, let me answer factually about Yamuna. 2022, sir, forget 2023. 134 days had high ammonia level. Did you see any protest by Mr. Kejriwal? And by the way, the ammonia levels had reached 5.8 to 6 ppm. This is other reports in 2022. Many episodes were there of the same thing. By the way, Yamuna Nadi, 80% of the pollution that takes place in Yamuna takes place between the stretch of Wazirabad to Okhla. This has been proven by the DPCC, not by me, Delhi Pollution Control Committee. But since Mr. Muni has become a river expert today, Mr. Muni, can you please, before you have labelled this allegation against entire people of Haryana, you used to say pollution, air pollution also caused by Punjab's Parali once upon a time, now you started blaming UP and Haryana. Can you please tell me specifically where and which canal through which the Yamuna enters Delhi? Can you tell me the name of the canal? Can you tell me the name of the canal? Because it's my turn. Do you know the name of the canal? Do you know the name of the canal? Yes or no? Do you know the name of the canal?
I just want
Chaliye, you don't know the name of the canal. Chalo, sir, let me complete. I did not interrupt you. You don't know the name of the canal. That's what I wanted to prove. Now, sir, let me complete.
One second. He asked you a question. Do you have a response?
Do you have the name of the canal? Do you know the name of the canal?
Look, hang on.
Complete the point.
1 second, sir. Let him finish his point. You don't obviously know the name of the canal.
That's okay, you
though
can
you're
Google
waxing
it.
eloquent.
No problem.
Okay, one second.
You can please Google it.
Yes,
now,
Mr. Poonawalla,
now
explain.
I have the following questions for Mr. Kejriwal. Sir, please, I did not interrupt you. Mr. Muni, I think we can have a debate without us interrupting each other. Mr. Muni, please tell me on which dates and how did you stop this water from entering Delhi? Because in the previous instances when Delhi was flooded, you said that we cannot stop this water, Haryana is sending the water. So if you have the technology of stopping the water, please tell me where and how did you stop the water? Please show me the lab report which you have taken from Palla village. By the way, the water enters through Palla village. Please tell me the Palla village sample, what is the BOD level, and please tell me what is the ammonia level out there, and please tell me the ammonia level and sample BOD level in the Wazirabad to Okhla stretch. By the way, this water then goes to Uttar Pradesh. So are you saying that we poison the water and how much ton of poison was used? You tell me that also, and we are sending that water to Uttar Pradesh. Now let me tell you the larger point. Sir, this has become ABCD. Instead of giving the ABCD of what we have done for Delhi, A for abuse Sanatan, abuse Haryana people. B for baseless allegations like the ones that have been made now. C for communal dog whistling, which Mr. Khadge is doing when he's targeting Mahakumbh. And D for divert, deviate and distract. This has become the calling card of both these parties. You can also say C for conveniently forgetting and conveniently remembering allegations. Today, Rahul Gandhi has said Sheesh Mahal and Sharab Ghotala was done by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Did he forget this 6 months ago? And now Kejriwal has responded to Rahul Gandhi saying that, look, the original Ghotala is National Herald and Robert Vadra. I know Mr. Sanjay Jha will be itching to defend Kejriwal. So just before that, I want to caution him that Mr. Kejriwal has said that Sharab Ghotala is not the real Ghotala. Real Ghotala is National Herald Ghotala. Now both these leaders, Mr. Sanjay Jha and Mr. Muni, should tell me that if these allegations were indeed true, why did they ally with each other 6 months ago?
No, actually the larger question, Mr. Jha, is this. If whatever Mr. Kejriwal says is the gospel, then is it true that the larger Ghotala, the corruption scandal, as he claims, Mr. Sanjay Jha, is National Herald and what Robert Vadra allegedly has been up to, and the fact that both the Gandhis and the Vadras have, according to Mr. Kejriwal, struck a convenient deal with the BJP. Who is the gospel of truth here? Is it Rahul Gandhi or is it Arvind Kejriwal, or is it neither?
Rahul, good evening, and I do hope that you will be generous enough to give me a little bit of time, but uninterrupted both by you and the
No, of course.
spokesperson
I'll
of
also
the
hope that you'll be generous enough to answer my question, Mr. Jha. Go ahead.
You just that was a manifestation of the fact that even before I started, you interrupted me. But
Wow.
anyway, I'm an optimistic man, so I'm assuming
Please, go
that
ahead.
won't happen again.
Yeah.
I find it extremely rich, exasperating, annoying, hypocritical, and downright fraudulent that a man who recently on television abused the people from Purvanchal. I, by the way, come from that area. My surname happens to be Jha. And may I remind the viewers who have not seen the BJP spokesperson's hateful, disgusting, cheap, vulgar and abusive comment to the people who have my surname of Jha or people who come from Purvanchal, that this distinguished gentleman abused us all on national television. He's apologized, but by the tone and tenor of his beginning speech right now, I have to say, I mean, the audacity,
2
the
minutes.
effrontery of this man is absolutely a remarkable
2
example.
minutes on Shehzad
of
Poonawalla.
how thick-skinned and
When are we
shameless
getting to the point, Mr. Jha? If there is a point to be made, who
Yeah,
am I supposed to
yeah.
trust if I'm the Delhi voter voting on the 5th? Should I trust Mr. Kejriwal, who says that the Congress has a greater scandal in its cupboard, and that is the Herald House scandal, and
Yeah,
that
so
it
I'm-
has cut a deal. The Gandhis have cut a deal for Mr. Vadra
Yeah.
to save his skin with the BJP? Or am I to believe Rahul Gandhi, who says that the two biggest scandals in Delhi have been manifested, to use your word, your favorite word, by Mr. Kejriwal, the Sharab Ghotala and the Sheesh Mahal? Who am I to believe out of these two people?
Okay. Rahul, please, you promised me that you wouldn't interrupt me. You
I
have
haven't
treated
interrupted
it
you.
like
I'm
a
giving you
fine
more
task.
time.
Yeah. So I'm going to answer your question. Because your program started by, kind of putting out all kinds of verbiage of the opposition and making it appear to be a cardinal sin, that they were all very outrageous, obtuse, and downright indulging in extremely cheap rhetoric and polarizing politics. What is the truth? The truth is that it's not just Mr. Poonawalla himself. I want to bring to the attention of the viewers who want to vote in Delhi. Can you vote for a party which has a man called Ramesh Bidhuri, who, by the way, is competing with Mr. Poonawalla in terms of hate speeches? Mr. Bidhuri's misogynistic speeches, Rahul, I know you. I know you that no matter, you and I probably are on different spectrums as far as political ideologies are concerned, but I don't think you will brook the kind of humiliation or the mortification that has been heaped on women by Mr. Ramesh Bidhuri. I'm not even going to remind the viewers to kindly rewind and listen to his speech in the new parliament where he made the Muslims the target of the most vicious attack ever made in India's parliamentary history. Point number 3, you have a guy called Parvesh Verma, who is openly violating the model code of conduct. I mean, there are accusations against him of all types, but even the election commission has to tell him, what are you doing by putting shoes into people's feet and trying to mobilize votes? I mean, I don't want to even get into his hate speeches. So, Rahul, I'm going to cut the long story short.
Yeah, please.
The truth is, all political parties are guilty of indulging in rhetoric during an election time.
Okay.
But BJP.
So are you
takes the cake and the bakery.
are you saying fear mongering is rhetoric? That it is not obtuse, are you saying? And by the way, you've spoken for 7 minutes. You started at 10, it's 16 now, just turning 17. So I just want you to know, you've got more than adequate time to make a point which is completely tangential to the question I asked you, but nonetheless.
Since he's made 80% of the accusations at me.
Yes.
Personally,
One thing I just want to point
Yes.
out before I also bring in Ishkan Bhandari and Shahzad Punawala to respond. Shahzad, first you. I just want to make one small point, viewers. In 5 days or 6 days, you will be voting. And the question that needs to be asked is whether Rahul Gandhi is right or Kejriwal is right. Because both of them are questioning each other's integrity. Integrity is at the heart, viewers, of any politician's governance. If they are corrupt, as each of them are assuming or suggesting that each of them are, then they are not votable. Their party is not votable, viewers. They disqualify themselves. They cancel themselves out. But no one has responded on that point. Bear that in mind. Shahzad Punawala, respond to the charges that have been made against
tonight I wanted to have a discussion on the issues that are troubling people of Delhi. In fact, I have spent most of my time visiting each and every constituency, exposing the kind of civic mess that Delhi is in. But having said that, since now the personal jibe was made at me, I understand that because I come from a predominantly Muslim OBC Pasmanda family, abusing my father is easy game. We all saw that discussion. Everyone knows what exactly happened on that discussion. My father, who's dead and has been dead since I was 5, was abused. Sanjay Jha obviously did not factor that in. Even then, I have no ego to say I was sorry. But now that Mr. Sanjay Jha has brought this up, Sanatan samapt kar denge is what Udaynidhi Stalin said. Haryana has poisoned Delhi is what Atishi said. यूपी बिहार के लोग 500 रुपए का टिकट लेकर 5 लाख का इलाज करके मुंह उठा के आ जाते हैं. दिस इज व्हाट अरविंद केजरीवाल said. He also blamed Yamuna's pollution on the mull created by Purvanchalis, by the way, in Shubhankar's podcast. Today we have heard how again Mahakumbh was attacked. We have heard Sanatan Bimari from Mr. Priyank Khadge. We have also heard how DMK has said that UPites and Biharis actually are only meant for cleaning toilets. I want my dear friend Sanjay, he's castigated me because I have lost my father. My father can be abused. I agree, I accept. It's a sin of mine that I lost my father and he can be abused. But now, Mr. Sanjay Jha, with the same gumption, please tell me that what have you got to say about DMK? What have you got to say about Mr. Kejriwal's statements on UP Bihar? And by the way, Rahul Gandhi had mocked North Indians saying that Kerala people understand issues. They don't. This is not the issue tonight. Tonight, Sanjay Jha, I want to ask you only one question. If Mr. Kejriwal is indeed the bastion of integrity and honesty, is he true about National Herald? Is he saying the truth about what he said about Robert Vadra? Or if Rahul Gandhi is actually true, then please tell me when you will start opening your mouth on Sharab Ghotala or on the Sheesh Mahal. Because when people were dying in Delhi, Mr. Kejriwal was building Sheesh Mahal. And by the way, Mr. Muni, you could not answer which canal through which the water enters.
Rahul,
but please do tell me how many SPP plants did you build in the last 10 years?
I want to bring in Ishkan Bhandari is waiting his turn. Yes, Mr. Sanjay Jha, quick one.
A very short answer. Let me address the liquor scam to begin with. Mr. Punawala, let me remind you that the man who was an accused became an approver who accused...
Then why is Rahul Gandhi accusing Kejriwal of cracking the greatest corruption scandal in the cabinet? No, why is Rahul Gandhi saying this? I'm asking you. Is Rahul Gandhi lying to the public? Is he trivializing corruption?
I'll answer this for you.
Please, I'm going to pull it out. Viewers, now look.
Give me 30 seconds.
Rahul Gandhi saying their biggest liquor scam cracked by Mr. Kejriwal. This is his attack. And Kejriwal is responding and telling Rahul Gandhi that you're a liar, that you're a coward, you've cut a deal with the BJP to defame me. Modi ji puts people in jail even by making fake cases like liquor scam. Arvind Kejriwal's tweet, viewers, why haven't you and your family been arrested in open and shut cases like National Herald? How did Robert Vadra get a clean chit from BJP? It is better if you don't preach on fear and bravery. The country who knows who is a coward and who is brave. Why is Rahul Gandhi accusing poor Mr. Kejriwal of being corrupt? You tell me, in the liquor scam. And why is Arvind Kejriwal turning around and telling Rahul Gandhi that he's a coward?
Rahul, let me answer you very quickly. As far as the Delhi liquor scam is concerned, don't let Mr. Poonawalla get away with this. The man who turned approver from accused, just let me finish. The man who turned approver from accused and made Arvind Kejriwal the target gave a lot of money to the BJP in electoral
Then why is
bonds,
Arvind,
50
no, hang on,
crores.
why is Arvind
50
Kejriwal
crores.
not allowed to become chief minister again? Why has the court restricted him from even entering his own office or holding office or in fact looking at any files? Why is Atishi the chief minister? Viewers,
I don't think the
viewers,
court has stopped him
Mr.
from becoming a
Sanjay
chief
Jha
minister.
tonight has deserted Rahul Gandhi. He's abandoned Rahul
I am
Gandhi.
speaking on
I'm
facts
asking you,
in a
Rahul
bipartisan
Gandhi is
way.
making this allegation because it was the Congress that went with the complaint first. Don't forget this, viewers. And I want to bring in Mr. Bhandari on this point. Mr. Bhandari, is the opposition today failing Bharat? Is India failing Bharat? Is the India bloc failing Bharat by not being responsible? Simple question. He says it's all rhetoric.
Arey, BJP has done sabka saath, sabka vinash.
Can I speak now?
Yes,
Rahul,
please.
Unlike Mr. Jha, I am not in the habit of making fake allegations on editor that I do not get time in order to get time. But the least he can do is not interrupt when you have asked me a question. I waited my turn patiently. So now, firstly, as a resident of Delhi, I was hearing your introduction, and it's such a tragedy that we have polluted air, waterlogged road, cans of garbage, and poisonous river. And yet we have inflated water and electricity bill, which is just the reality. As a resident of Delhi, I felt people watching should know what is happening in the capital. Those who do not live here, everybody who lives there knows it. Now coming to what is happening, the problem for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is this, that his lies have caught up with him. He started in politics with certain outlandish allegations with bundles of paper, never going to court to prosecute anybody successfully. But with those bundles of allegations, out of which many times he's apologized to certain BJP leaders and to others like Lalu Prasad Yadav, Sharad Pawar, he has gone into alliance with them in the India alliance or even directly in alliance. In 2013, he fought against Congress as a person against corruption, then took support of the Congress and became the chief minister. So those lies had to catch up because you cannot fool all the people all of the times. Now the problem for Congress is that it is confused, but the people have become confounded with it. In 2013, Arvind Kejriwal, who calls them corrupt, gets his support. Then in 2019, they filed separately. Then the Congress leaders raised the litigate allegation, file complaints. But in 2024, suddenly Arvind Kejriwal is very good and they are in alliance for Lok Sabha. Now in 6 months, again Kejriwal is corrupt. So basically for the political convenience of Congress, every 6 months, the status of Arvind Kejriwal changes. Now, people aren't foolish. The people see through it and the people have seen through it. That is why they have completely ignored Congress. The problem for Arvind Kejriwal, as I will end by saying, is this, that there is a limit to how often you can swear on your kids, what sort of a car you promise to drive, what government accommodation you promise to take, what sheesh mahal you build for yourself, how you make yourself irreplaceable. You come against a culture of one person ruling a party and then become an entire face of the party and nobody else except you can hold those office, or people who will hold that office will be people absolutely selected by you and beholden to you. So all those lies in 10 years have caught up to him. The only thing going for him is his freebies. Whether they make him survive, I do not think they will, but except freebies, he has no ideology, no governance, no rule to win this election. That is why he is in panic.
Okay, final question to you, Mr. Muni. Mr. Sanjay Shah says that this is all rhetoric, that these things are said in the heat and dust of poll campaigning. So I'm asking you very simply this. Is being rhetorical, opportunistic, trivializing corruption, is this being responsible to the voter? Simple as that.
You know, you talk about trivializing corruption. The Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson trivialized corruption today while he was mum on his party leaders distributing money. And remember, Rahulji, you have been fighting as a journalist previously. 20 years ago, there was a time when money has been distributed and journalists were fighting. कि क्यों पैसा distribute होता है politics में? And today we have a spokesperson who has been justifying it in national television. Now, second point, this very liquor scam which you are citing, Honorable Chief Justice of India, who was then the justice then, who said that this particular case won't stay 2 minutes in a trial. This case won't stand 2 minutes in a trial. And how, and questioned the Solicitor General that how 100 crore of allegation went to 1100 crore. These all are on
Mr. Muni,
record.
Mr. Muni, whataboutery is not the response. I'm asking you, is a person who gets up without evidence and makes an allegation that a political party that happens to be ruling this country is poisoning the people of Delhi, 22 million people in one go, is that rhetoric or is that a fact? And if it is a fact, then tell me what was happening all this while when ammonia levels were spiking. Why did Mr. Kejriwal never talk about this then? Why only now?
See, Kejriwal ji always talked about pollution in Yamuna, which was coming from
Viewers,
Haryana.
remember
But my
this.
point is
Remember
that,
this.
are
What
you
he
worried
talked
about
about. No, hang on, Mr. Muni. I'm asking you a simple, straightforward
When
question.
ammonia
Then,
level
did he not
went
say in
from
2019 that he would clean up? That he would clean up the Yamuna, and if he didn't, he will not stand for election. Yes or no?
And he said sorry for that. And he said that it will be clean
So it's
now.
okay.
And
I am
that's
sorry
why
to the
I'm
courts.
looking at
I am
that.
sorry to the voter. I'm sorry to Modi. I'm sorry to everybody. And please elect me again because I'll be always sorry.
He was jailed. His whole
Okay,
party was
viewers.
jailed.
Can I just have one line?
Yes,
Very
okay,
quick
very
line.
quickly. I'm going to
We are
move
not
on.
fighting
Sorry is the
$10
word.
economy,
5 letters, viewers.
economy.
Sorry,
Still now
please.
Green is not
No,
there.
it's okay. Did he
Okay,
say it or
vote
did he
chalega,
not, sir,
but
in
you
2019 that by
party change
2025 he will clean
Pura
up the
government
Yamuna and if
change
he
chala
doesn't,
tha.
don't vote for me and I will not stand for election? Did he or did he not? Or will you deny this also?
And he and I'm saying today that with this particular statement that he will be cleaning Yamuna in the coming term. He goes to poll and he will
so
bring
in now
this time.
he needs another 5 years to clean up the Yamuna. Wonderful, viewers. You know, this is what Modi should say. He says, I didn't create jobs because, you know, I haven't respected the constitution. I haven't given you democracy. I have fixed the EVMs, but give me 5 more years. Everything will be okay. Give me another 5 years and I'm fine with it. Viewers, it's strange. That's why I began by saying that not only is toxicity flowing like water, but also, I'm sorry to say, a degree of idiocy is also flowing like water tonight, viewers. Yes,
Just
very
5
quickly.
seconds.
कांग्रेस वालों ने चोरी कर रखी है, मुलायम सिंह यादव ने चोरी कर रखी है, मायावती ने चोरी कर रखी है, सबने चोरी कर रखी है.
Is he saying sorry for this or is he saying that this was rhetoric? Mr. Muni, you take rest of my time. Did he say sorry for calling Lalu and Mulayam corrupt or does he stand by it?
Remember Modi,
No. That must have been 5 years earlier. He said sorry for it, and it's all now under the. No. It's all under the bridge. It's all like the Yamuna that flows. It's okay, sir. It's fine. Mr. Kejriwal has excelled, viewers, in the art of pole vaulting. He might even represent India in the next Olympics. Let me tell you this. It might just happen.
Or javelin throwing.
I'm going to move on, viewers, because we have a very, very, very important news story to focus on. Let's not get distracted by the headline. Many in the mainstream media are singing hosannas to China for leveling the field with US big tech giants or for stealing a march over them on the most significant evolving technologies of the current era. There's no doubt that China's AI app DeepSeek has created ripples by becoming the most downloaded free app on Apple App Store. There's no doubt that it has been developed at a fraction of the cost of what was spent on ChatGPT. Even Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, the developer of ChatGPT, has publicly appreciated the Chinese feat. There's even talk that China's AI app could have outperformed its more pedigreed US competitors in its ability to mimic human reasoning, processing information step by step, making it skilled at tackling complex scientific problems. Viewers, there are several things that have been attributed as plus points to DeepSeek, and they're on your screens. But here's the rub. There are still many unanswered questions about how DeepSeek developed its model. What we know is that DeepSeek leveraged older generation NVIDIA H100 GPUs. Now, NVIDIA is a company, and viewers, they manufacture chips, especially H10 GPUs. And by leveraging the older generation NVIDIA H100 GPUs, the Chinese maker of DeepSeek has significantly reduced its cost of production and dramatically increased return on investment. This company has been founded by Liang Wenfang, who also runs a hedge fund called High Flyer. And viewers, its new model, DeepSeek AI platform, reportedly comes at 3% of what OpenAI charges. Now, viewers, it has been able to do this because it has been able to leverage this cheaper technology. That is what it is said. But is it possible that DeepSeek has withheld information on how much top flight NVIDIA chips it has access to and used to train its models? An article in the Fortune magazine quotes Alexander Wang, the CEO of AI company Scale AI, who claims to have information that DeepSeek secretly acquired access to a pool of top-of-the-line 50,000 NVIDIA's H100 GPUs. If this is indeed the case, then DeepSeek's claims may be the deep fake news of the year. But as things stand, we have no choice but to believe DeepSeek that its decision to go with the older NVIDIA H100 GPUs was not out of choice, but necessity. Yes, necessity born out of a US semiconductor export restriction meant to deny China a chance to outrace the United States in acquiring AI supremacy. Necessity may be the mother of invention, but is it also the mother of innovation? Viewers, that's the fundamental question we need to pose today. The other one, of course, being, why is India not still cracking the AI model race? And what can it do to do this? These are the fundamental questions, viewers, that we will be posing tonight to our guests on this show. Let's go across to Spyros Margaris, venture capitalist and renowned AI expert, and Jibu Elias, AI expert. Both of them are joining us. Mr. Margaris, I want to ask you first to put into context what the Chinese have been able to do with DeepSeek, and should we really feel threatened by it?
First, I want to thank you for having me on your show. And, I don't think we should feel threatened. I mean, competition is good. And the entrance of the show, you pointed out a lot of things, important things like necessity is the mother of invention. And maybe that's how DeepSeek came out, But I don't see, at the beginning, it felt like a threat. We saw this huge correction yesterday. NVIDIA and a lot of chip stocks, infrastructure stocks suffered. But I think it will take a few days or even longer to digest the impact. But as a whole, I feel if it's true that they were able to do this with this little money and the sources, it will inspire the big players to do the same. So where before, the big players, Google's, Microsoft, etc. of this world, fought this game by pouring a lot of money into it, a lot of money, billions and billions, and planning to do further. I mean, Meta is planning to put another 80 billion in, and Microsoft and everyone. They will also look at finding maybe another approach. The approach DeepSeek actually showed us also possible. So I don't see it as a threat, but an inspirational news, and it's good for consumers.
But do we know enough about the robustness of DeepSeek on the basis of what has been shared with us in the public domain? Or could there be something else here that we haven't seen?
Like what?
Like, for example, the platforms that were used, as I mentioned,
Yes.
many people are speculating whether they were actually the older ones or were quite a few of them a bunch of the more modern, some people say 50,000 top-of-the-line NVIDIA H100 GPUs.
I'm certain that that fees was not possible with this little money and with the sources they had. And actually, as much as they were very transparent about the model, very transparent, there was very little real information on what they used before to build it, you know. And one thing which was interesting, Bernstein research company said, you know, why, if that's the case, that they don't need as much information and to build this large language model, why did China announce last week that they will spend about 140 billion on data centers? So it's basically, it's like you're building a model which they knew its capabilities, but on the other hand, they're building infrastructure as if this model didn't exist.
That's strange. There's a mismatch
I mean,
there.
at least that makes you think.
Yeah.
But I still believe that regardless of price, you know, say there's a democratization of AI, which eventually all technology goes that path eventually, becomes cheaper, more people will have access to it.
True, of course,
And
that is a great advantage. That is a great advantage, and that in that sense, this is a bit of a game changer.
Yes,
let me
it's true.
also bring in Jibu Elias, who is an AI expert. Jibu Elias, thank you very much for being tonight here with us. I have to ask you this because it's a fundamental question to this debate. Chinese jugaad AI, so to speak. Jugaad is a word, I know that you're probably familiar with it. Here in India, we use it as a quick fix. So you have a situation where a Chinese jugaad AI has outsmarted perhaps some of the best in the business. But why is India, or let's say, what is holding India back? We are the masters of jugaad. We are the original jugaadophiles of the world. So where have we slipped up here in this race?
Here. So there's this big question, how much of this jugaad has actually happened? Because there have been a lot of rumors saying that China might have, I mean, the DeepSeek team might have procured a lot of additional GPUs through Singapore. There are so many which we can't verify at this point. And it doesn't sound, you know, on surface that this 5 million, 6 million is a size, an amount that we can, you know, think about. But whatever they were trying to do with that worked, you know, in this Trump era, as in the second term, especially that's one thing. Secondly, coming to India, I think the biggest point where we lacking behind is in education part. If you look the total amount that China spends in R&D, it surpasses India by multiple folds. And if you look at the top university rankings, you can find a Chinese university in top 20 or technical universities. While we look at an Indian university, you will find IIT Bombay or Madras in around 100 or 200. So this disparity is huge. And one more interesting thing is most of the students, the Chinese students, some of them who studied with me abroad or the ones who study in MIT, however, they have this tendency to go back and build products there. While many of the statistics say our top IITs students, 60% of them are not coming back. They just go abroad for opportunity. So these are a big question, right? Why we need to build very advanced infrastructure and R&D ecosystem. Without that, it's impossible to compete in this age.
How possible is it? Now, you talked about the Singapore route, getting in certain platforms, etc., certain chips, really, which may be unaccounted for. There is a term, and that is, you know, geopolitics, which China plays very well to disrupt the global system. Could this be a version of geonomics, geoeconomics, to disrupt the proficiency with which the Americans are going through with developing AI?
You are spot on, Rahul. I feel that way as well. I think years back I have looked into this because if you look at China's AI strategy, they see it as they look at AI as an asymmetric warfare strategy and a component that will give them an advantage. For example, if you look for a straight-on battle, whether it's a military battle or an economic combat with US, they can't win on a one-on-one situation with US. But looking for this kind of asymmetric strategies is always helpful for them. And look what they have achieved in just one day, especially considering that few days back we had Biden signing an executive order banning export or controlling export of AI hardware and advanced algorithms. And again, a few days back, I think Trump and OpenAI's founder Sam Altman and few others announced Project Stargate, which is a $500 billion initiative in US, which is being questioned by Elon Musk about the funding capacities. Now, when you are speaking about that much number, you have a country coming in and putting a model which is an open source model for 5 million or 6 million, which they claim cost. It's going to be a huge disruptor. It's actually, this is like I can say this as a welcome gift for Trump.
Geonomic mind games, viewers. Who knows? Many unanswered questions, but also certain interesting developments. The world is getting more interesting, as many people predicted. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me this evening. Let's move on, viewers. In the show, we're going to stick with something very, very important, a great development, which heralds great significance for India ahead of Prime Minister Modi's visit to the US sometime in February. President Donald Trump, who's confirmed this, has said India, quote, will do what's right, quote, on the deportation of illegal migrants. The comments came following a phone call with Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday around this time. It was their first conversation since Trump's inauguration last week. The readouts by both sides said that the two leaders discussed immigration security issues, but it was Trump's tariff talk that has captured the headlines. In fact, the US president has even gone public on his expectations from India, who he has bracketed alongside China and Brazil as tariff hawks, viewers. Listen in to what Trump said.
China's a tremendous tariff maker, and India and Brazil and so many countries, and so we're not going to let that happen any longer, because we're going to put America first. Always put America first. That's what's going to happen. We're going to establish a very fair system where money is going to come into our coffers, and America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before.
Well, viewers, you heard what President Donald Trump said, that he intends to put the United States first, like other leaders put their countries first, and there's going to be no going back. Now, viewers, if you really look at it, his statement when he says that I am sure India will do what is best and what is right, many people are seeing this as a passive-aggressive negotiating tactic. He's also said that he expects India to buy US weapon systems. So is he making all these? Is he making all these claims to put pressure, to strike a deal, a bargain? We don't know. But let's open this up. Mohandas Pai, chairman of RN Capital, is here with us. Gautam Chikkarmane, VP of ORF, is here with us. Mr. Pai, I want to come to you first straight off. Look, we can for a moment say that, okay, Mr. Trump is bluffing. He won't pull the trigger on India, etc., etc. But we could also say that being unpredictable, he might just do it. And he has, of course, won an election on this plank. Now, if he does tinker with the tariff systems, if he forces India to either to obviously lower the tariffs and increases the tariffs on his side, can India pivot and prevent economic damage to itself? Are we ready? Are we prepared for this? Do we have a plan B?
No, Rahul, let me say this. Trump is using disruption as a means of diplomacy to bring people to the bargaining table. He's very serious about it, and we should take him seriously. In fact, Minister Jaishankar said Trump has a disruptive style of doing all these things, threatening people and bringing the bargaining table to do a deal. And we have to make a deal with the US. US is possibly the largest trading partner with us, with whom we have a surplus. We have a $100 billion hole with China. So US trade is very important. US can give us access to technology. And what Trump wants is small things. And if you look at the list of imports from the US, our list of import is very small compared to what we import from outside. And Minister Hardeep Puri said we'll balance trade by buying more of American oil, which we buy anyway. And we are joined at the hip as far as technology and services are concerned, because we are a force multiplier for the United States, which he understands very well. I'm sure Prime Minister Modi has already got a list because the chambers have prepared a list already where they feel that we have to lower some tariff in areas which are of concern to America. And Rahul, you remember, as far as Trump is concerned, Harley Davidson is the most important thing. The Harley Davidson people went and complained to him. We got 150% tariff. I think India reduced it somewhat for Harley Davidson. So I think Trump is serious. Take him seriously. India has got a list of things. I think they will negotiate and will come to a deal. But his bigger target is China. But we should come to a deal with him and work with him and do more business with him.
But Mr. Pai, I just have to ask you, as Trump localizes further, he's also much like Mr. Modi. He wants to make America great again by making America make again. Now, if this is indeed the case, over a period of time, there will be what is known as nearshoring, friendshoring, which we can, of course, benefit from. But are we in a position to benefit from it? Have we undertaken those reforms? Have we pushed the land reform envelope? Have we created SEZs with the tax reforms that we need to attract capital, even American capital? You say we should do business with him, but have we created that environment?
Well, in services, we have a pretty good environment. This year, service exports will be about $230 billion, and 60% goes to America. We have about 3 million people working for American companies here in technology. Of the 10 million people working for American companies in technology worldwide, 4 million are Indians. And in manufacturing, we've got to find out what America actually manufactures. Manufacturing has come down in America. In deep tech, yes, there is some manufacturing. For example, in the chips area, Bangalore has 350,000 chip designer, testers, and embedded software people who largely work for American companies. They know we are a force multiplier for them. So I think, even in manufacturing, I think we have come a long way, but we got to make a deal with him for American companies to come. And I think, for example, in this recent deal for semiconductor chips, is American companies which are coming to Gujarat, in that area where we already made a deal. And I think they're coming, more of them are coming. So I think, look, we have to get beyond the bluster on our part and try to make a deal. India has to be nimble. And, and coming to America is our future. Let's be very clear. We cannot depend on Russia for our defense anymore because Russian technology is up to date. We are getting sophisticated technology from China for Pakistan. Their planes are much better than any planes anywhere from whatever they tell us. So we have to get the latest technology for defense. We have to be part of the nuclear area, in the semiconductor area where there's a lot of growth. We are the force multiplier in America. And we have to make a deal and work with him and not just bluster and say put up tariffs.
Gautam Chikkarmani, let me bring you in. How far can Trump go to actualize his tariff threat, diplomacy against India? His India will do the right thing refrain sounds like passive-aggressive diplomacy.
Yeah. I think if you study Trump, he's a business negotiator. And we are not talking about some small-time business. He's a billionaire and so on. So he has this experience of negotiating, and I think he's applying that to politics. Although it may not be a straight line, the transposition of business negotiations onto diplomatic negotiations. But so far, he's been winning. Israel is getting fixed. Russia will soon toe the line. Colombia has changed its stance. Panama Canal they are rethinking what to do with those in that canal. So I think Trump does have a way of negotiating. In India's case, I think whatever he might say, we need to know that, and as we have seen, he takes an extreme stance, and so that there is room for maneuver. Likewise, India should take the other extreme stance without being aggressive, and so that we too get room for maneuver. Now, having said that, I think the India-US relationship has been moving towards one another in a positive manner for the last couple of decades. And I don't think one Trump or one tariff issue or one trade tiff is going to change any of that. When we look at India and US through the integral lens, that is, we are not just looking at trade, we are not just looking at jobs, as in visas. We are looking at the world's two largest democracies coming together to work together. Then I think what the two countries ought to work towards or have the umbrella under is grand strategy. By that I mean that we need the complete relationship. Yes, economy, trade, but equally defense, strategic affairs, technology, and now energy. So I think if we have lots of these negotiating issues on the table, put them and place them next to a simple thing called the tariffs issue, India will find a lot more room to maneuver.
But let me ask you, all this doesn't mean that he will not tinker with tariffs, hurting our economic prospects. He may well do that.
Not economic prospects, but maybe a couple of industry prospects. I think India has made it clear that we are ready to negotiate, and so we are there to talk. India has also said that as long as we will negotiate, as long as it doesn't harm the livelihoods of our people, particularly SMEs. Now, other than that, I think let's look at the tariffs. What are the tariffs that are very high? So there is about 90% for cotton, 177 for oil seeds percent, 135% for fish. These are all farmer, agriculture related, food-based tariffs. And I think America is not coming on a clean slate either. They have their own agricultural tariffs.
Yes.
Let's come down further. Let's come to textiles. We have 27% tariffs. Let's come to clothing. We have 37% tariffs. If at all, I think the high tariffs are in automobiles, where on new cars, they are up to 100%, and on used cars, about 125%. If they go down, it'll be good for India as well, as far as consumers go, and it may satisfy the American. You remember last time in his previous term, there was that big issue about Harley-Davidson duties. Yeah. And how those got negotiated or did not get negotiated. And I think India did not give in. Today, India is a $4 trillion economy. I think we need to learn the art of negotiation.
Okay.
So there is a strategy of negotiation, which is where Trump starts from, and we need to decide. Until about a couple of decades ago, not getting a deal, not signing a deal, was seen to be better than signing a perfect. So either we want a perfect deal, which is in our favor, or we don't sign the deal. Those days are now gone. I think we will have to learn to negotiate as a mature economy, as a $4 trillion, fifth largest economy going on third within this decade. And our negotiating tactics, the manner in which we negotiate, has to become more sophisticated.
Well, viewers, we leave it at this. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us and sharing your perspective. Of course, the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, will know in February whether Trump is a dost or a disruptor or a deal maker and a dost. We don't know, viewers. That only Mr. Trump knows. Mr. Modi will find out. We'll all find out. I'll take a short break. Vantage coming up with Palki Shankar.
Presented by
शाम से इस जगह पर रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन
पुरानी में कल रात तकरीबन 7 बजे एक 4 मंजिला इमारत गिर गई और उसके बाद से लेकर अब तक राहत और बचाव का काम चल रहा है। इस वक्त सीधी तस्वीरें मैं आपको दिखाती हूँ। ये जो तस्वीरें आप देख रहे हैं, ये टॉप एंगल शॉट्स हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया पर कि किस तरीके से ये पूरी बिल्डिंग जो है वो ढह गई। और आप फिलहाल देख सकते हैं कि तकरीबन 4 से 5 जेसीबी है जिनकी मदद से मलबे को हटाने का काम यहाँ पर किया जा रहा है। और साथ ही साथ आप देखेंगे दूसरी तरफ एनडीआरएफ के जो लोग हैं वो लोग हाथ से भी मलबे को हटाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। यहाँ से तकरीबन 13 लोगों को रेस्क्यू कर लिया गया है और जिसमें से बताया जा रहा है कि 2 लोगों की मौत भी हो गई है। और ऐसे में फिलहाल जो यहाँ पर काम चल रहा है वो मलबे को हटाकर क्या कोई और लोग नीचे दबे हो सकते हैं उनकी खोजबीन को लेकर चल रहा है। और फिलहाल 13 लोगों का रेस्क्यू किया गया है। उसके बाद से कोई रेस्क्यू फिलहाल होता हुआ नजर नहीं आया है, लेकिन अब ये मलबा हटाने के बाद ये देखा जाएगा कि कोई इसके अंदर तो नहीं फंसा हुआ है। अब तक 2 लोगों की मौत की खबर यहां से आ रही है।
ऊपर से आ गए। हाँ 2 लोगों की डेथ हो गई तो उसको अपडेटेड कर दो। ऑफिशियली नहीं हुआ ना
और उन्होंने कुछ बोल ही पाए थे बिल्डिंग है तुरंत हम भागे।
देखिए अभी चुनाव का माहौल है, विधायक संजीव
शाम से इस जगह पर रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन हो रहा है।
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. The DeepSeek mania continues to grip the world. China's new AI model has caught the world's attention, but it's also facing cyber attacks. Is someone trying to sabotage DeepSeek? Is it the United States of America? The internet is debating. Meanwhile, the stock market rout continues. US tech firms have lost a combined $1 trillion in trading. How will they handle the DeepSeek challenge? Donald Trump has also waded in. He says China's AI leap should be a wake-up call for Silicon Valley. We say it's a wake-up call for everyone. What should countries like India do? We'll tell you why sovereign AI should become a national mission. Also on the show, how is Donald Trump's deportation drive unfolding? Why is Denmark boosting its military by $2 billion? Is it the Trump-Greenland effect? Why is Bill Gates taking on Elon Musk? Why does President Trump want an Iron Dome for America? And why is China prioritizing physical education in schools? Should other countries also take note? All this and more lined up for you today. First, the headlines. The US Embassy in the Democratic Republic of Congo is set on fire, and as armed men storm the building, the embassies of France, Belgium and Rwanda also come under attack. The protesters were heard chanting, "Death to imperialists." This comes a day after Rwanda-backed rebels claimed control over the strategic city of Goma. India summons the Sri Lankan envoy, registers a strong protest over its navy firing on Indian fishermen. 5 fishermen have been injured in the incident. New Delhi calls Colombo's action unacceptable. The Sri Lankan navy claims that the firing was accidental. Pakistan criminalizes online disinformation. Those found guilty will face up to 3 years in prison. The law was rushed through the National Assembly with little warning. It will now go to the president for approval. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party calls the move, quote-unquote, highly undemocratic. A Russian delegation arrives in Syria. It's the first one from Moscow since the ouster of Bashar al-Assad. President Putin was one of Assad's key allies when he ruled Syria. Assad and his family fled to Russia after his government was toppled in December. Last month, American and Ukrainian diplomats visited Syria's new rulers.